keyboard on this computer. Hello, this is the WordPress meetup for the Lehigh Valley. We're glad you're all here. Tonight we have my new friend, Chris Badgett. I met him about a year ago. We went up to Rochester for WordCamp Rochester, and that was really cool. So he's the owner and founder, I guess LifterLMS, which I've been working with, and I thought it'd be really great to share with people what it does and everything. So Chris, take it away.
All right. Well, thanks Lehigh Valley for having me. I'm just up the coast in Maine. I got involved in WordPress in 2008. I started teaching WordPress from the beginning on YouTube, and that's kind of how I started getting clients and building an agency. And from there, I specialized in the online course niche. I started launching my own online courses in the permaculture and organic gardening niche. I would partner with experts around the world, and that was my first kind of real online business. I also started a WordPress agency, grew that up to a decent size, and really focused in on LMS and wanted to build the product that I wish existed. So we started building LifterLMS in 2013, launched it in 2014, and here we are a decade later. Happy to take questions. Just fire them away in the chat. I'm really used to presenting and taking lots of questions. I was going to kind of divide this presentation into three parts. First, I'm just going to kind of take you on a tour of what's possible with a learning management system in WordPress and how to think about it. And then we'll build a course. I'll show you like how to get started from scratch on a blank WordPress install. That'll kind of be part two. And then, part one is the tour, part two is a build on the existing site. And then I'll show you how to really get started at the very beginning and just fire the questions away, and we'll jump into it. So I've got a site set up that has LifterLMS installed on it. So there's a joke in the LMS industry that we have too many TLAs, which are 3-letter acronyms. So I'm going to try to, so LMS stands for Learning Management System. But what does that really mean? How do people use an LMS in WordPress? Kind of at its core, the foundation is courses, which can have things like lessons, quizzes, assignments, grades, reporting, certification, gamification. There's a lot you can do with it. Lifter's used in a lot of different ways. We started really focusing on like the individual kind of solo creator back in 2013 who just had something to teach. They were trying to make money online. And you know, the big gap we saw in the market a decade ago was that people were starting to build, just like myself with the organic gardening, online education, e-commerce sites and stuff, but they were stringing together like a lot of different tools and plugins and custom development. So we kind of combined 4 key concepts to when we launched Lifter. One was just the LMS, everything you'd expect from like course architecture, lessons, reporting, students, student dashboard, and so on. But then the other 3 components that we launched with LifterLMS from day one with were e-commerce, so the ability to sell courses, course bundles, access to other parts of the site and things like that. We also introduced the concept of memberships included. You can use LifterLMS if you're already using a membership plugin, like Paid Memberships Pro as an example. You can just use that for your memberships in e-commerce and use Lifter for the LMS piece, but we have a membership concept as well. And then we launched the engagement feature. So things like certification so that you can earn certificates. The student gets like a personal certificate. It's all, you set it up, it's dynamically generated. They can download it as a PDF. They can make their certification public on the site. So to give you an idea of some of the use cases for LMS, you kind of have that solo creator, like the speaker, author, coach type person. They use the LMS. We also have schools using LMS in a more traditional way. And we have companies use LifterLMS for like internal training to train employees. So like employee training. At LifterLMS ourselves as a company, we actually have like a site that's powered by LifterLMS. It includes all our processes and, onboarding for different roles in the company. And that's all included inside of courses and that sort of thing. The other thing you can do is education-based marketing. So sometimes people have like a opt-in to get an email and they'll give out a PDF, an ebook, or an email series or something else. But the way our biggest marketing asset for Lifter LMS is actually our quick start course for Lifter LMS. It's about 2 hours of content. I highly recommend this course. This is on academy.lifterlms.com. You can also install it directly on your website if you have Lifter installed, and it will kind of show you the 5% of the most essential parts of building an LMS site and how everything works. So that's a good resource. So some people just use courses as sort of like another kind of content in their marketing. So there's lots of different ways to use an LMS. Learning is what makes us human. So you'll see it used in all kinds of different ways in terms of how people use courses. To kind of dive into it a little bit, um, let's look at what's possible in a course. So we're really just looking at the front end of the website here. I'm jumping into a course that I'm already enrolled in. This as an example is just showing some of the different ways to think about e-commerce with an LMS. We've got like a one-time price for the course. You can buy multiple seats, like if you're a company buying a course for a team or a family buying courses for your children or something like that. So we have group enrollment, and I'll show a little demo of that kind of stuff. And then we have like a membership concept. So this particular site is set up where you get access to all the courses on the site for like a recurring amount of money every month. And then there's upsells for like group coaching, private coaching, in addition to just the courses. So there's a lot of different ways of architecting it. There's not really a pricing model you could throw at me that I couldn't be like, oh, you want to have like a free trial for 2 weeks and then they get this. Like it's all possible with like how Lifter LMS does e-commerce and bundling courses and using memberships as well. But to kind of get into the nitty gritty of a course, um, you can have all kinds of different content in here. So this is like a simple video lesson. We have some video technology where we can do things like require people to watch the whole video before they can complete a lesson. Video analytics. We have a thing where some people find it really valuable that if somebody like tries to leave your site and go to Facebook while their court ordered training is playing, that it stops the video so they can't like lose focus or whatever. So that's just something. Most as with most WordPress sites, you don't really want to get into the video hosting business. So like uploading huge videos to your WordPress media library is not really a good idea. So most people are using a service like Vimeo Pro, Bunny.net, Wistia. You can even do free unlisted YouTube videos if you're trying to keep costs down. So they can't be found on YouTube, but you can still use them in your LMS. And our video technology integrates with those services. If we look at a quiz, there are about, I think, 12 different question types, um, ranging from automatically graded multiple choice to picture choice, fill in the blank. And what else do we have? This is called a Likert scale. So like a scale question. The quiz system in Lifter LMS is really versatile in terms of what you can do with it. This is called reorder items right here. So I'm just putting that in the correct order and completing the quiz. You can also do things like essays with minimum maximum word counts, short answer, uploads. We have people doing language learning, where the student like uploads an audio file for grading and things like that. So really, most kinds of quizzing or assessments that you can think of are possible with Lifter. And there's all kinds of features around um, time limits. How much does this question count? Maybe this quiz is just to reinforce learning and doesn't contribute to a grade. Question weighting, question banks. If you get really nerdy into quizzes, there's like a lot of options there. We have something called achievement badges, which are known as gamification. So if I mark this lesson as complete, um, I don't know why my badge didn't fire. I'll have to look at that. I might have actually already earned it because I think I'm going through one I already have. Or maybe I didn't. Oh, I marked it incomplete. So let me mark that complete. So we'll see if it, yeah, there it goes. So there it gave me my badge. Um, and if I jump to like the student dashboard over here, um, you can see like I'm starting to, earn my achievements and things like that. Um, so that's an achievement badge. We've looked at video content. That's how a lot of people use Lifter these days. But because WordPress is a content management system, you can put anything you want in a lesson. You can put PDFs, PowerPoint presentations. I heard some talk earlier about Articulate, Rise, and Captivate and Storyline and things like that. So if you're using an e-learning authoring tool, you can put that content in here. And there's also we actually have a bunch of training and a course on our site about how to work with e-learning authoring tools and integrate them deeply into the WordPress LMS. I can provide those resources in a little bit. But for many people, they're just creating directly inside WordPress itself using videos, audio content, um, text. Some people do entirely text and image-based courses. Here's an example. Do we have an embed in here? Yeah, I'm not sure why in my demo it's not showing up, but it'll usually frame in the entire PDF file right there. You can do PowerPoint. I'm using a WordPress plugin here called Embed Any Document, which makes it possible to, get all kinds of, less standard file types into WordPress. Uh, let's see. Tabbed content. Kim, I think you mentioned Cadence earlier. I think I'm actually using Cadence blocks here. They have like a
Mm.
tab thing.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
so if you want to like sort of get fancy and put a bunch of content in there, but not have people have to scroll, you can do that. Interactive content. This is like a similar to WordPress. There's a like an open source community project called H5P for Learning that has a bunch of interactive like e-learning things, interactive content that you can embed in your WordPress site. So it's just a demo of that. Um, we also integrate with four of the main most popular form plugins. I think this is a Ninja form right here. So if you want students to have to fill out a form before they can advance and like collect some data or do what with WordPress, there's so much you can do with forms. You can make it so form submission is required to complete a lesson. This is just a simple example of completing like gathering a testimonial or getting course feedback from a student. And yeah, here's an assignment here at the end. And in this case, this is a task list. You could have multiple tasks where you give people a checklist of items to complete. They could have to upload something. There could be an essay. There's many different types of assignments you can do. We talked about group learning a little bit. So you can have there's people who will, like one of the things I've seen a lot over the years is in traditional education, the textbook industry is a really big industry. And some of these textbook writers are transitioning to digital. So what they're doing is they're kind of turning their textbooks into digital, more interactive, more video content like experiences. And then they sell to schools or professors or teachers. And you can do that all through LifterLMS, where the e-commerce is all automated. Like a school could buy 1,000 seats or 100 seats, 200 seats, and purchase that, and then invite their members to enroll. There's front end reporting so that the group owner can like see what's going on inside of the course and without ever going into the back end of WordPress. So that's an example of groups. We also developed something we call social learning. So this is sort of like a Facebook group, but on your website, so that users have a social profile. Their achievements are visible. They can put in their bio and links to their social media, and there can be sort of like a Facebook timeline of conversation that's happening. And instructors have a few more permissions and things they can do on the timeline and things like that. So it's sort of like a um, Facebook-like experience, but on your website. Some learning contexts really like that. If we look at the dashboard, we can see, students can pick up where they left off. A big part of a learning management system is progress tracking. So, I've got my progress right here of where I'm at in this course. You can see what I've completed and not. I can favorite lessons. I think I'm not actually enrolled in this course. That's why I can't click that. Um, what else? We have student notebooks. So if somebody wants to like take notes as they progress through a course, they have a digital notebook here where they can take notes as they work through the program. And then we'll look at the e-commerce component in a little bit, but LifterLMS has its own e-commerce system. People usually use our integration with Stripe for credit card processing, or PayPal, or both. We also integrate with WooCommerce. So you can, if you're using WooCommerce, you need like more of a full featured cart and have other products besides courses and memberships. You can use that, and it's a seamless integration there. We mentioned the Paid Memberships Pro integration also. So that's a quick tour of the front end. Before I go into the back end, I want to see if we had any questions we could hit. Kim, you said BuddyPress. Lifter actually integrates with BuddyPress as well. So if you want to use BuddyPress, the BuddyPress profile and the BBPress forums also integrate with LifterLMS, just the free LifterLMS core plugin. It's not an add-on or anything. So
I think I think what you're doing with the community there, it might be just what my client needs. Like it's simple enough. I was a little bit dreading putting all of Buddy Press on, but that might be the little communication would be enough.
yeah,
So that's kind of nice that that's there.
yeah. BuddyPress has a little more with like friends and private messaging and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Lifters is more simple and streamlined on kind of like this one social wall and profiles. Um, Cool. Well, I'm going to jump in to the back so we can kind of see what it's like to build a course.
Somebody had a question. I guess this will come up.
The style, colors, fonts, etc. Dante is asking. Yeah, so I'm using basically LifterLMS works with any WordPress theme. So you can have any style you like. What I'm using here is the theme that LifterLMS makes, which is called Sky Pilot, and just all Lifter tech here. I mentioned a few other plugins like Embed Any Document and the Cadence Blocks plugin, but everything else here is all made by Lifter. from the beginning, we always wanted to provide a theme that um, anybody could use, um, so that they could get support for the plugin and the theme and everything like from one place. But at the same time, there's many popular themes that people use with Lifter LMS. Some of the most popular are like Astra, Cadence. We have a lot of Divi users. We have a lot of
Elementor.
page builder users like Elementor and Beaver Builder, Divi Builder, Bricks. So a lot of people, I've seen Lifter sites that look very different. So, and even SkyPilot, our theme, has a lot of options. I know you mentioned you did or are going to do like a full site editing um, session at some point. So,
Yeah, our sister group in the Burps on Monday is talking about full site editing.
so a lot of I won't go into a big full site editing tutorial, but this SkyPilot theme I'm using right here, you can heavily customize colors, make the background different colors, fonts, and all kinds of stuff. Um, so let me jump back to the front and we'll look at kind of the behind the scenes of a course. So if we go into that course I was just in right here, um, I'm just going to click edit course. So there's like two parts of a course. There's like the WordPress post of the course, and then there's something called the course builder, which we'll look at in a second. But if we're editing the course itself, this is sort of like the custom post type of the course. You'll notice that Lifter has, this course information block, the pricing block, the progress, the course continue button, and the course syllabus down here. And um, and you can customize this. Like if you don't want the instructor block showing up, you can just remove it. We also have short codes for everything. So if you're not doing the Gutenberg part of WordPress, you can still do it like the short code way as well. Um, there's all kinds of restrictions you can do. You can have like a different sales page for the course. Um, you can do course enrollment periods. So like, let's say you want to offer this for sale or free enrollment between today and 2 weeks from today. And then you can have like a course time period where you can kind of like pre-sell a course for as an example, but the start date isn't until like February 14th. Later, you can have an end date where people will lose access to the course lessons. They'll still have their certificate and stuff like that. We even have like a cohorts add-on if you're doing sort of a traditional education thing where you have a fall semester, a spring semester, or like 4 cohorts a year. You can do that. There's drip content. So if you want every lesson to drip out like 1 week apart or have some custom drip schedule, you can do that. You can limit the capacity. If we look at the access plans here, this is the one of the most um, powerful parts of Lifter. So you could do a paid course, free course. You can do recurring payments like monthly payments. You could do a trial offer. Let's say it's $1 for 1 week. So this right here is I just said it's a dollar for 1 week, and then it's $500 a month for all time. Like there's no end date, but if you do want it to end, you can do that. So this is what I'm saying. There's like all kinds of different variations of pricing models you can do. If you're doing group enrollment, um, maybe you want to do group packages, like there are 10 seats in the course. Or you could do variable where there's a slider. Let's say if you buy between 10 and 100 seats in the course, you can access this deal right here is what that means. You do lifetime access, expires on a specific day or after a certain amount of time. After they check out, you can redirect that somewhere, wherever you want, if you don't want them to just immediately jump into the course. So that's sort of the access system. And memberships are the same. Like you can, memberships, we'll look at that real quick, have a few more features. So if I'm working on the access plans of a membership, uh, the way this one is set up is I'm going to, if somebody buys a membership, I just have an all access pass membership where they get every courses. I'm going to auto enroll them in these 20 courses and they're just instantly ready to go. So that's like a really simple, just you get everything membership model. With LifterLMS memberships, you can also restrict access to other parts of your website outside of courses or even the entire website. So there's really any kind of pricing or access model is possible with Lifter. And not everything has to be paid either. Like a lot of learning use cases, it's all free. So there's unlimited options in how you control access, pricing, free, groups, individual. And if we look at, you can manage students from here. Like if you want to kick somebody out or let them back in. Sometimes people are just adding WordPress users to their site and just enrolling them without even using access plans. So there's all kinds of different ways to do it. But let's look at the course builder. So if we look at the Quick Start course right here, so this is the LifterLMS Quick Start course. So this is a free course. It just has a free access plan and people are just signing up for free. I'm already a user logged in on this site, so I didn't even have to go to the form, but to register. So I just got put right in. But in order to like structure all these lessons and all the lesson content, we would use the course builder. So this is sort of like the outline of a book. Kim, you mentioned earlier about all the different terminology. There's so much in this space. Um, but
Right.
we at Lifter we call it courses, and then courses have sections. So this is the getting started section, and then there's lessons, and then some of these, um, might have a quiz involved. So here's the quiz or assignment. I can add like a new question type to the quiz, um, like a true false, and I would select, put my information in, put which one's the correct answer, and so on. But if we look at a lesson as an example, uh, you can literally build a whole course from one screen, and I'll just do a lightning fast demo of that in a second. But you can just drop in the video, and update the main settings here. But if you want to go over to the the WordPress post for that lesson, and you wanted to add like a bunch of other stuff besides videos, you can just edit this lesson just like you're editing a page or a post in your website, and start dropping in, whatever other content you want uh, in that lesson. And let's just do a course from scratch just to show you how easy that is. So if we add a new course, um,
That's what
and
my membership levels are always called. My awesome level.
there you go. I'll just use this image right here. So just give it an image. And I'm just going to go ahead and publish that. And then we'll launch the course builder from here. So we have our course. We've got three sample section with 3 lessons just to kind of show people how to use it. And then, I can add another section, add some more lessons, start like putting in content here. If I have a video URL from YouTube or Vimeo or wherever, I can drop it in and just start. I can literally build the whole course really quickly here. And so if we view this course, so you can see how quickly we're starting to put together this course. And if I edit it, and I want to, let's say charge for access to that, I'll just do a one-time payment here, and we'll make it $1,000, simple one-time payment, $1,000, lifetime access. Click save. And then if we look at the course, you can see it's ready to roll. And this site has Stripe on it in test mode. So I'm already a user with a saved credit card on the site. So you can see it's got the credit card there already to go, but it's in test mode. So these aren't real transactions. So that's how quickly you can put it together. And let me jump to my other demo site here and show you how quickly easy it is to get started with Lifter. So this is a blank WordPress website with absolutely nothing on it. So I'm going to go into the back, and I'm going to go to plugins, and we'll add LifterLMS. So LifterLMS, you can find it on our website, the free version, the core. So the core is like super powerful. A lot of people just use the free LifterLMS plugin. But if you want to add something like the e-commerce or the group enrollment, those are premium features. So I'm going to install LifterLMS right here. And we're just going to go through, we're going to activate it. And as that's activating, Lifter has a little setup wizard. So if you've ever worked with WooCommerce as an example, it's similar. We have some required pages the website needs to function, like the student dashboard and the checkout. You can configure all these later. We're going to be in the US doing US dollar transaction. We're going to get a coupon from LifterLMS. And then we have these course templates that you can install. So I'll just install the Quick Start course so I can learn how to use my site. And then I'll just put in these two sample courses right here. So as those are importing, and this is just using whatever the default WordPress theme is these days. So if I look at my site, you can see I already have my course catalog is here. The LifterLMS Quick Start course is here with all the lessons. The free enrollment access plan is there. You can collect whatever information you want on sign up. And if we look at some of the other courses, like the morning routine mastery, this is just like a text-based course, but it's there enrolling. And you can see the student dashboard is here.
You got your thumbs up. I like that.
Yeah. But that's how quick it is on a blank site, and you can literally you can start just building courses right on your site. You can add Lifter to your existing WordPress website, the free plugin, and just start playing around with it. Let me move this so I don't get confused and get back to my other site so I can show you a few more things before we go to Q&A here. All right, yeah, I'm on the this is my demo site. Again, using LifterLMS, the Sky Pilot theme, and I have all of our add-ons installed. But a few more features just to touch on real quick. uh, so LifterLMS is an entire learning management system platform. There's a lot going on. So there's like the main dashboard, kind of a snapshot of what's going on. The reporting is really key for a lot of LMS folks. You can export the data and put it into a spreadsheet or as a PDF, as an example. You can drill into like individual students, see what their activity's been. You can look at like particular classes they're in, how they're doing, um, what their assignment submission was. And there's grading in here as well. I'm not an instructor of this course, so I don't have grading up here, but it shows up here. We were talking about um, forms when people register. So if you want to, collect certain information, um, uh, like if you didn't want to, the address, I already removed the address on here, but if the address was here and you're like, I don't need their physical home address, you can just delete that. You can import those sample courses at any time. So there's the Quick Start course, a couple of templates, and then 3 complete text-based courses you can do whatever you want with. And engagements we'll look at real quick. So this is where you can design a certificate. So this is an example certificate, and we're basically using the WordPress editor to kind of figure out what we want to put inside of our certificate. And we have all kinds of like merge codes and fields so that you can dynamically populate like first name, last name, the date they earned the certificate and so on. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. We even do emails. So I came from like a marketing automation background in my earlier agency days. So I wanted to build something like people use ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, Infusionsoft, things like that, so that you can create automatic emails that go out based on activity in the LMS. So when a student completes a course or completes a lesson or passes a quiz, you can have these emails or even series of emails go out based on some kind of trigger in the LMS. So the way to think about that, we call those engagements. So there's all these triggering events, like student creates a new account, purchases something, completes something, passes something, fails something, completes a course track. This is how you would create like an entire degree program. Like if somebody completes these 20 courses, they get this degree, which you then automatically deliver a certificate for. Membership stuff, and we have some forum stuff if you're using bbPress. So I know I've covered a lot. I'm really just scratching the surface, but I'm happy to take any questions and do any demos of anything specific that people have.
That was perfect what you showed. I mean, I'm not saying there's not questions. I'm saying that you showed us actually how to install it, and there it was. Sometimes people will show their software and not do that, and that's nice to see. Like all you had to do was install it.
Yeah, and there was a question about somebody was working on with the e-learning authoring tool. Let me just get a link for that. Um,
And there's a couple other questions.
do you mind emceeing the questions, Kim, so I can
Oh, you're not seeing them? Okay. Oh.
emceeing them, like emceeing them, just so I can grab resources as you're talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, does it notify the instructor when students achieve steps? Is there communication that way, or would the instructor have to look and see?
Yes, it does. I'm just putting in the chat. There was a question about, I think, Rise content. This is a place to get started. The article's about SCORM. I just put it in the chat, but
Ah,
there's a link to training about how to integrate with e-learning authoring tools. But
Oh,
yeah, so Lifter also has a notification system. So if I go into notifications, there's all these um, things that happen. So like when a lesson is completed, there's a pop-up, which you saw. I think you saw like the hey, thumbs up.
yeah.
So if I wanted to customize that, I could just customize that basic pop-up. But there's also email notifications that happen. So where's the lesson? So the lesson complete one, um, I think it's off by default because you don't want to get like a million emails. But some people want both the course author wants to know whenever somebody does something, and you can even do additional emails in here as well. Um,
Oh, I love that you can say who the email goes to also.
yeah, so like a
That's a good
popular
feature.
one with that is like purchase receipt. So this is if you're selling courses, you know, the student can get it, the creator can get it, and you could also like CC your accountant or something like that if you want to do that. And some people like, you know, will like CC another tool like Slack or something that so that they can just keep an eye on sales from their instant messenger or whatever. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. Um, Dante had a question about accessibility for special needs and ADA compliant. Um, so we actually have an accessibility statement. Let me pull that up for you. So on the bottom of the Lifter LMS website, you can check out our accessibility statement and our approach and what we do with all that. We have a release coming with more accessibility and screen reader compatibility upgrades. We had an accessibility audit recently by an organization with a visually impaired person who is testing and collecting feedback, and we're taking action on that. We've had people use Lifter LMS to teach businesses in Canada how to be more ADA compliant, taught by somebody with disabilities. So there's a lot we do. We're not like 100% perfect, but we're always trying to improve in that area. So that's our approach with accessibility. And if anybody ever finds anything that they wish was better, we want to hear about it, and we'll do our best to work on that.
There was a question about can students ask questions in the course? And I suppose that would have to do with whether it's like a course people are doing async, or would that be to notify the teacher and ask? I
There's
know.
lots of ways you could do question asking. One way is to use the social learning um, timeline and just post a question publicly. But if you want to do it privately, um, some people will put on their courses in the sidebar under here or at the top or wherever, like a form, and even put it in the template so it's always there. So there's always a place to ask for help. You can also turn on comments using the WordPress comment system and have comments rolling underneath a course. You can also do forums, like LifterLMS integrates with bbPress, so like only students enrolled in a certain course can post to the course forum kind of thing. We also have an add-on called private areas where it's like a kind of like a private blog between the teacher and a student. So if a coach, for example, has a course, but they also do coaching calls and they record those coaching calls, they can publish the replay of that video to the student's private area. And then there's comments underneath that. Um, there's so many different ways. Like LifterLMS is like built around communication. I've also seen some people install like a chat plugin or something like that, or use Help Scout and their Beacon Help Scout chat widget. There's tons of different ways to do it. We also have a lot of people who use the LMS and then use what we're using here, Zoom, in in tandem with it. So sometimes they'll deliver the training live. It's called, here's another one of those TLAs, three-letter acronyms, the instructor-led training. They'll do it live on Zoom. They'll have a calendar of events on the site, and then they'll put the replay inside of the course structure um, with the the video replay. But people also just sometimes they just have like open office hours, every week at Wednesday at 5 p.m. or whatever, and do it that way. So there's no end to like the communication possibilities there.
Hey, Chris, I have a question, or maybe just another, I need another pass on what you've already said, but uh, um, so Lifter creates, try to get my head, like Lifter creates a custom post type called courses and memberships, or do different post types get created depending on configuration? If we didn't want to worry about like engagements or send certificates, would that be just kind of created as that feature is requested? I'm trying to get my head around like, could I create a specific, page template for a post type and like drop Lifter content onto that page? Or would I be more customizing a template that comes with Lifter? You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yeah, so like part of the difference between an LMS and a membership site in the classic sense of the term is like all that structure that the LMS has. So there's the hierarchy. A course is a post, a lesson is a post, a quiz is a post, a quiz question is a post, and so on. There's like a lot of posts. Um, but you only have to use what you need. So for example, like some people just have like one course, that's it. They're not using certificates and achievements. You can disable those endpoints on the student dashboard. So literally that's all that's there is just my courses. They're not doing grades. If you're not doing memberships, if you're not doing groups or notes or anything, like this can get really simple. I kind of have like the Cadillac here to like look at everything.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
yeah, and in terms of like dropping it into what you already have, could you tell me more about what you meant by that? Like using a lifter template versus like dropping it on top of something else?
Well, I guess I'm kind of wondering, and maybe this relates to a question Alonzo asked, can the course landing pages be added to other WP pages? For my version of that is just kind of like, what's the output on the page? Is it an iframe? Is it a script? Can I take what Lifter gives me and like sort of put it in, specific pages that I already have on my site? Or does Lifter kind of give me pages that these are the pages, these are, kind of what I have to work with?
You were asking the right guy that question. So, are you familiar with blocks or are you more of a shortcodes guy?
Oh, I use both, but blocks probably are more what we use.
Cool. So, Lifter LMS blocks right here.
Aha.
Um, if I wanted to like say, put like the courses is like a real simple example. If I want to just put my courses on some other random WordPress page, I can do that with just that block. And there's a shortcode for it as well. So in fact, the example we have is doing that. Uh, so if I go to the home page here, this area that's pulling in the featured courses, if we look at that page, um, and we look at what's in there, you can see we're actually using the shortcode in this case. we're just pulling in the courses that are in the featured category and putting them within this content in this group of blocks right here. So that's that. And the other thing that happens, let me go out here. I'm doing an incognito window. Can you guys see the blank screen?
Yep.
So I'm just doing that. So I'm totally logged out of the site, and I go to a course, and because I'm not even a user on this site, like I can't get into the lessons, right? They're locked.
Right.
And then I can enroll, and now I gotta, actually check out and so on. But what you can do with courses, let me go back to the where I'm logged in here. It's very common for people to, the simple thing is like Lifter has the course page, and the course page can be your sales page that like sells it. And basically what happens, there's a little more it does, but once you buy, these pricing options disappear, and then there's just like a resume course button. So it's kind of dynamic in that way. But if you want to have like a completely different sales page with like tons of stuff on it, and it's only ever used for the sales page, down here in the options, you could say, if they're not enrolled this course, I want to show like different content. I want to redirect to this WordPress page, or maybe I'm selling on Shopify or somewhere else, or who knows what. I can send them to any URL I want to when they visit the course page and they haven't enrolled yet. So that's how you can kind of create that custom experience on the registration process. You can use Lifter out of the box, or you can get fancy and be like, I want them to start here with the buying process or the enrollment process. And that's true for memberships as well as courses.
Well, while you're back there, I'm just curious. I have sometimes people who don't want to show the lesson titles. They just want to say this course is available. So when I built it, I noticed all those show up, even though you can't access it. Is there a way to turn that off?
There
Or
is.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the view here. And what you can do is, well, one, you could just make a separate sales page that isn't this, and they would
That isn't
never be
that.
able to get here unless they enrolled.
Right.
But the other thing you can do is work with the editor here. And you see this enrollment visibility thing over here?
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you can, in everyone, enrolled users, non-enrolled users, logged in users. So
Right.
you can really customize down to the block and component level who sees what. It gets a little confusing when you're like always a WordPress admin and you see everything, but you can really fine tune that whatever you want to show or hide.
And it's also because I'm doing mine with Paid Memberships Pro, I have the visibility for Paid Memberships Pro. So it's like, I only want one. Okay, good. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. And some people will delete they'll just remove the syllabus block off the course page and only have it in the lesson pages, which only people can see if they're logged in. So there's several different ways to attack that.
Did anyone else here? I know that Gerald had asked about live. Did that answer your question, Gerald, when he talked about putting the Zoom right in there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We even
Like,
have an article on our site, Gerald, where we show you how to embed a live Zoom meeting directly inside of a lesson if you want to go that far. There are Zoom integrations with WordPress that can make that happen.
I was just thinking of like a live painting demonstration as far as that they can watch you actually working.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to do that. I mean, you could do, if you use Vimeo Pro, there's something called Vimeo Live, and you can embed like a live feed. You mentioned painting. We have a user, I think the name of the website is howtopastel.com.
Oh,
You might get some inspiration from that one.
great. Thank you.
Gail Sibley, I think is her name.
Okay. Thanks.
Hmm.
It's always
I-
cool to see other sites.
I have another TLA for you,
Yeah.
Chris. The grass blade,
Yeah.
and where did I have this written down? What is that? An LRS? Is that something that integrates, or is that sort of negated by Lifter?
Yeah, it can integrate. So, LMS.
Saw
Let me
that in
Or
find,
is it
the,
yeah?
let me
There's
find the,
grass.
yeah, the grass blade LRS. So basically what that does, we have like I'm trying to find this right here. So
Ah,
this is a SCORM integration course, and it gets into a little bit how to use GrassBlade. So essentially the way it works is Lifter LMS is actually a LCMS, so it's a learning content management system. But if you are creating your e-learning content outside of WordPress using an e-learning authoring tool, um, what GrassBlade does is it makes it easy to embed things like SCORM, Rise, Articulate, Captivate, and so on. And then it also connects completion of that embedded e-learning authored content to the Lifter LMS reporting and progress tracking and completion of lesson stuff. And then GrassBlade also uh, reports to a learning record store, an LRS, which is like um, something that some learning management system websites want for sometimes they're feeding a learning record store with data from multiple LMSs. That's where it comes in real handy. But I'm not sure exactly where you're going. It's a more complicated setup, but a lot of people do it. So
yeah. I was the one who asked about Articulate Rise. By the way, I mentioned we have a client who's already working with another partner to author a course in Articulate Rise 360, and I don't really have control over that. But I'm kind of that was my question. I haven't looked at that link that you had posted earlier, so I intend to. But my question was sort of, would that be a one-time sort of import integration of that SCORM data, or are there sort of different approaches to that, or just like different data formats that we could export slash import? And I had kind of learned about GrassBlade a little bit, and I wasn't sure if that was the tool to use there, or if that's just something totally separate. Um,
it is the
so I
tool
guess,
to
yeah.
use. It's the best tool to use to make it easy to because when you exit out of Rise, you have an export and you need to get that, but it doesn't like go into the WordPress media library. You can't put it on a post or anything. But what
Mm.
GrassBlade does is sort of like a media library for that type of content. Um,
Ah,
and then Lifter knows how to work with it for things like reporting and progress tracking and lesson completion and things like that. Um, at the
I
end of the
see.
day, like with a client, sometimes it's a lot easier just to do it all in WordPress. But if you are, so what happens a lot of times is people will get this setup we're talking about here with GrassBlade, and then they figure out like, why don't I just make my courses here inside the website? And then and you can do both. Like it's common. Sometimes people have like a huge catalog of content they made with an authoring tool for decades. So they still have that stuff, but then they start creating in WordPress too. So you don't have to like abandon one or whatever, but both are possible and they can be side by side.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Thanks.
There was a question earlier about previewing a portion of the lesson. I was thinking that also, could you say you wanted to make that introduction? Could you make that free and then make the rest? I'm assuming you
Yeah,
can. It's just a matter of finding that setting.
I will show you the button. You're talking to the right guy. So there's a couple ways to do it. Let me go. I think we might have an example here on the quick start course. I'll make an example. So
Yeah.
this is my logged out view where I'm in the incognito window. And you see how this lesson is free? Like I
Nice.
can't get in these, but I can get in this one. And I can get like a free sample of a lesson right here. So I can watch that. There's no mark complete button for me because I'm not a student. And if I try to get into something that's not free, I can't get in there. And that setting is uh, I think it's in two places actually. So
I th
if you're on,
It's so helpful seeing you do this because I know because I came from another system, I just was thinking, oh, where's the lesson? Where's the lesson? And now I'm realizing it's just one page. I was trying to find all yeah, this
I know
is,
what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
the course builder is it's sort of in two places, so it makes it hard. This free lesson thing right here, it's really just this
Oh,
toggle
okay.
right in the course
Oh,
builder. And then if
oh.
I was actually on the individual lesson post,
Mhm.
um, you can see there's a free lesson toggle down there. So I can
Okay.
control it from the post itself or from the course builder if I want to
Got it.
make one free.
I think part of my issue may be, well, no, I think it would be there, but like when you're in Streamline, sorry to go with paid memberships pro, there's some course features that all of a sudden you don't have that you can't see. Now I think I could see that, but there are like and I was talking to Kim about it, like the time, like scheduling a course to start, and that goes away when you're in Streamline mode.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. Maybe I just need to make a site that's just this so I can experience it out of the box.
I know with Pay
Well,
Memberships Pro, they're doing some stuff with access and stuff, so they remove some things that like
yeah,
conflicts
there's,
with the way Lifter does it.
well, I think there's a tab on the course page we totally goes away because we're handling most of this stuff, but there is stuff there that would be nice to have. I think I'm going over with Kim about things we'd like to see, but anyway, sorry. Talking shop. But there it's so versatile. Oh my goodness, watching you do that. And I think I saw it on your site. You have a module or something for if you're doing CEUs.
Yeah, a lot of some of our most successful users, by the way, are selling mandatory continuing education training or certification. For us, there's not like a specific CEU feature,
Mhm.
but what they'll do, for example, if you were doing online CPR training, is they would create a course. You would get the certificate at the end. It would be
Mhm.
worth like 3 credit hours. And then what organizations will do is they'll use our cohorts add-on. So every year they just click the cohort button and make a 2025 version, which happens in like one click, and you've got the new version. The old one's still there, the record's still there, and then they set up that the new cohort. So then over time, students can come back if they have to annually or every 3 years recertify and get their stuff.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so it isn't like once and done. You can actually have it. Oh, that's good. I was thinking about that. I was also thinking if you're offering some courses and things change, like say like with WordPress, we used to do WordPress learn things, but then the next month the editor changed. So if you could inform people, hey, there's some changes, you can go back to the course and it's been updated to review it.
That happens with us, like the Quick Start course at LifterLMS, because we're constantly evolving. Every 2 years, we basically rebuild this thing from scratch. But oftentimes we're using the same course. We just update the video that's in the lesson with
Right.
like, and it's got the new interface and everything. That way, the people that already had it, it's just a free course, lifetime access. They get the updated version. We email people, hey, your course has been updated. Check it out.
Cool.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
that kind of thing.
Once. Right. Not seeing any other questions out there. So quiet.
I know it's a lot. I go over a lot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
We've been building this thing for 10 years. I know where everything is. I know it takes a while to like kind of get your head wrapped around it, but it's a whole platform. So it does a lot of different things. And that's my main advice to people is number one, take the quick start course. Number two, give yourself permission to spend a week or whatever, a weekend learning and just like playing around, looking where things are. It takes time. So go easy on yourself and ask for help. So.
Well, and you have so many videos, and like I said, I set in today. Do you do these open offices every week? I don't
Yeah,
know if you call them that.
every Thursday we do the live calls. We do a live call with our customers. It's a Zoom like this. It's called the Office Hours Mastermind. If you get the Universe bundle or the Infinity bundle, and then we have the regular support, and people reach out all the time with questions. We have a Facebook group. We have a Slack group. Um, we have a contact form. So we're here.
Very cool. And for anybody in the group, if you're new, especially if you're from around the area, we have a Slack group also. So if you DM me your email address, I can add you to the Lehigh Valley Slack. We're kind of weird. We can be quiet, but somebody could ask a killer question, and all of a sudden, all these devs come out of the woodwork who are, yeah. But otherwise, but if you're interested in that, just send me your email address, and I will add you to our Slack. So, Ken, are you still around?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I was just wondering.
No, but actually gave me some interesting ideas on from one of my clients that they can use LifterLMS for training. They're not going to need subscriptions. Just when a new user signs up, they can make sure they go through the course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see if they've gone through it. I really like the feature of like they have to watch the video before they can hit complete or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's we have a lot of people that use LifterLMS on client sites, and we also get asked all the time, hey, do you know anybody that can help me build my site? So if you get LifterLMS experience, we have it's just a free service we offer. It's called the LifterLMS experts page. You just fill out a form and you get listed there. And we're sending people there all the time looking for somebody who's familiar with LifterLMS that they want to hire to build the site for them. So I'll just put a link to that in the chat.
If somebody was building it with Elementor, do they have to use shortcodes, or do you have some integrations with Elementor also?
We have I think about 2 months ago we released a native LifterLMS Elementor integration. So LifterLMS components now show up inside the Elementor builder as modules.
Good. Okay. We have an Elementor following in our group, so I always have to bring that up.
We're actually going to make a new LifterLMS Elementor video. Elementor reached out to me today, actually, and they're like, hey, can you guys put a new video on your YouTube channel? I'm like, sure. So we've got a new Elementor video that will be coming soon.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm at the point with page builders that Elementor is like the best one. Right now. I mean, I find, at least for me, I mean, I haven't used Brick Builder. I know a lot of people are starting to use that. We're having people come to us, and I guess I'm just comparing it to like Divi or Avada or all the ones that use shortcode that, like, if you turn them off, your site is absolutely broken. Those kind of things. I'm looking for that link then for the other meetup group. Hold on. What's the name of that group, Ken? Is it Philly Burbs?
Yeah, Philly Burbs. Matt's on. He'll know. Unless Matt dropped.
No, not Philly Burbs. It's something about WordPress.
There you go. burbswp.com. Matt just put it up there.
Okay, thank you. So if you go to that site, somebody was asking me, if you go to Burbs WP, you can sign up for their online meetup, and it's going to be on Monday. So yeah, so there's that. We were gonna sit around and talk around if anybody wanted to talk. I was hoping Josh would be here so we could see what was having on. we were talking about trying to do a WordCamp this year. We don't know what's going on with that. So
There's a
maybe
little WordPress drama in the community
Yeah.
the last few months,
so maybe
putting it mildly.
we'll just call another meeting. If you're in our Slack, we'll call another meeting and we'll talk about that at another time. And I got your email address, Rebecca Jane, so I will add you to our list. Invite people. Okay. If you ask to be invited to the Slack group, all I have to do is add your email address and you'll get the invite, and you can do that. Anybody, and I'm not sure what we're doing for February because I was going to leave that in Josh's hands, and once again, he's not here. So if anybody has suggestions in our Slack, or really the way these happen are kind of organically, if something comes up and everybody's talking about something, it's like, okay, we'll find somebody to talk about that. So, because our group is not just us getting people to talk, but it's everybody. And if we also encourage people, if they have something to share, it's something they've been working on, look us up and we'll do a lightning talk, something like that. But we do not stream our live events because that's just a lot of work. We just don't have the capacity to do that. There's like 10 of us who are there, and I don't know. Also, I don't trust the schools. We mostly meet at Northampton Community College, and I don't trust their bandwidth. I don't know. So sometimes we've been there. We did when we did a WordCamp, we did a class where like everybody was building their own site, and we just like slowed down the whole the network wasn't ready for that. So anyway, but if you are in the area, join us. We'd love to have you. And I don't know what else to say. Oh, I know I should stop recording is what I should do, because I don't edit. Thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate you coming tonight.